Oh, this is lovely.
Isn't it, though?
That's a nice little vibe. Feels good when you're working on them changes.
On the changes.
On the changes, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. What it do to Darth Chaos? I see you with them purple hearts.
Mike Porter with the porterhouse stare.
Mr. Glass half full.
I can't. I can't.
Oh man, we is some fools tonight, man. Let's get on in here, man. People waiting. What it do? Hey.
Hey.
Yes. Do not adjust your YouTube. We in here on Monday.
Yes, we are.
How it feel, y'all? How it feel?
Feels good.
Oh,
Feels
don't
good
it
to
though?
me, man.
I mean, this is nice little bossed up surroundings a little bit, you know. We said we was gonna work on some changes, man. We getting there slowly but surely.
But surely. Most definitely. How's everybody doing tonight?
How are y'all doing? What is good?
Yes.
How do you feel?
Yes. Lovely faces
Yes,
in here.
indeed.
Make sure you stop by that poll. Let me know.
Yes.
You guys hype for that
Are
Hawkeye
you?
now that you've seen it. Yes.
Yes.
We want to know.
This is, by the way, the first rendition of something that we will be doing quite a bit going forward called Fanboy Dreaming.
Yes,
because you know, we all got dreams, man.
Yeah, man.
It's the boy Al and it's the homeboy Lavis. And we in here. And in case you ain't noticed, we got the people.
Yeah,
we
man.
got the people. What's up, people? What it do, y'all?
What it do, neighborhood?
Just the
All
way
up
it
on the
should
screen.
be. All up on the screen.
Oh, gee.
Ah,
it's a Monday.
it is a Monday.
Totally is a Monday.
Ain't it, though? But
we're going to make it a nice Monday, too.
Yes, that is the whole point of tonight.
Yes. So
Oh,
we're going to be on here, Fanboy Dreaming. We're going to be talking about some Hawkeye.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about some fanboy stuff that you guys popped into the Discord.
Indeed, we will. Indeed, we will.
If you ain't on the Discord, man,
then what the is you doing with your life?
We don't know.
I don't know. You know what I do know, though? I do know. It'd be crazy of me not to give a shout out to the delegation.
Yes.
And by the delegation, I am, of course, talking about one Maverick Pilgrim.
Yes,
one Big Homie Bill. One Ryan, a.k.a. the moderator.
Ugh.
Man, I know, but it feels so good to be amongst friends again, man.
It does. Nice and warm and cuddly and
warms
cozy.
my heart to see the fellas back.
Yes, it does.
Oh, man, appreciate the love. Everybody, welcome.
Welcome.
Like the man said, we got some Fanboy Dreaming to talk about. Hawkeye, man. Let me know.
Yes.
How did you feel when you saw the Hawkeye trailer?
I liked it, and I might be a little biased because we've had this conversation before.
We sure have.
You know, I like that Die Hard, and it has some strong Die Hard vibes, man. I was there for it. I was totally there for it. I'd like to see a John McClane kind of Jeremy Renner Hawkeye. I'm down with that.
Yep, no doubt. I feel you.
What about you, man?
Can I be honest?
You can always be honest.
I
man.
know.
We prefer it.
I know. It just didn't move me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was like, maybe. I might. Maybe they're holding back.
I feel like they are.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're holding back.
I feel like there's probably some stuff in that Hawkeye series that they just don't want to let us know about yet. And they just want to get us prepared.
You probably right. You probably right.
It looks like it's gonna be dope.
I am cautiously optimistic.
Understandable. Very, very, very understandable.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's some people out there who think that Hawkeye could possibly be one of the best MCU Disney Plus streaming shows. Better than Loki. Better than Loki.
I'll believe it when I see it, because I ain't buying it.
I'm going to say, so far, though, I mean, Loki's a hit. I'm liking What If for the majority. There's only been one episode. I'm like, meh. But Hawkeye could be it. Hawkeye could totally be.
I hope so,
show.
man. And I see the homie. What's up, Ant? I see you in the chat, man. Say teaser.
What you do?
But you didn't. I don't feel teased. I didn't feel teased. I felt like, okay, you showed me what the show is going to be about. That's pretty much what you can expect from a Hawkeye series, because it's Hawkeye. So, and again, I'm not even trying to poo-poo on the man. It's just like, there's nothing, you know, obviously the good stuff is going to get saved for the series, because they're not going to give you any big revelations about villains or plot or anything like that in a teaser trailer. So this is not a property that I was like super hyped about to begin with. And this one little clip that we got isn't enough for me to get hype yet. I will say yet, because this could very well turn into a show that after the first episode, I'm like, I'm hooked. I need all that.
Right.
Very well could be, man. But I'm just, keeping it real with the peoples, because that's what we do around here.
Right.
I just wasn't really moved in the way that I thought I would be.
So I got a question for you then.
What's up?
So this is obviously the most down-to-earth based MCU show that you can get, besides what we got from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Facts.
Do you think that maybe they should have stepped it up a bit, even in the first trailer, just because of it being so grounded? And I feel like grounded materials here in the MCU are starting to lose its flavor because we're getting so many cosmic implications. What do you think? You think it should have been better? It should have stepped it up even for the first trailer?
No, I don't think so. That's the funny thing about it is, I don't think there's anything different they should have done with the trailer, because again, I think for the people who are into Hawkeye and like into, you know, that show or the concept of that show, they probably got exactly what they were expecting from the trailer. So I don't feel like it should be changed just on my account. Because again, it's not that I looked at the trailer and said it was a poor trailer or it was something, you know, where I was just like, like in the sense that the trailer didn't live up to the hype. I just don't know what the hype is supposed to be, because I don't really know. I'm not that familiar with the character of Hawkeye from the comics. So I don't know, you know, I don't have that speculation that I had with Loki or with Falcon and Winter Soldier or with WandaVision, because I don't have a frame of reference to go, I wonder if they're going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So yeah,
well, I could probably help a little bit with that. So I want to start with some rumors.
Let's go there.
Some things that are supposed to be taken with some grains of salt. So to start off with that, how would you feel if Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin showed up in Hawkeye?
Game changer.
It's rumored.
Game changer.
That he's supposed to.
If he shows up, if that's what we're getting out of Hawkeye, then sign me to F up. Like that, I'm down with that.
I have to say, right there.
Apparently, my dog is down with that too.
Hey, it's probably because you get Pizza the Lucky Dog in this series too. He know about that. The dog. How your dog know more about Hawkeye than you? He's like, hey, don't forget the dog. Don't forget the dog.
Hey man, I have to say my dogs are probably more Marvel sweaty than I am.
Right, because he is your dog. That's why. Right, exactly why. But no,
you might be right.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if we get Kingpin in there. It's rumored. It's not, not supposed to, take that with a whole boulder. Take that with a little bit of grain of salt that he's supposed to be in it. But it sounds as if he could be the person orchestrating a lot of the gang collective that's coming out of Hawkeye. So we saw in the trailer, he sends his family away, says he'll be home for Christmas because apparently the Ronin life is catching up with him.
Yeah.
And it's speculated and said and rumored that also they're supposed to go through some of that 5-year period where he was Ronin and kind of flesh that out a little bit.
Okay.
So it sounds like mostly you can take a lot of the MCU Hawkeye-ness that you got and apply that to this show and not really have to know too much about what happened with Hawkeye in the comics. I hear they're using like it's Hawkeye like Volume 4 is mostly what it's supposed to be based off about, which is kind of what introduces Kate Bishop in the first place. So, but other than that, you get Lucky Pete's dog, and that's all you really need to know. You get from this version, it looks like you get to actually look a little bit more into Hawkeye's actual life than we have gotten to in previous properties. When he's pretty much the B character. They throw him in, he does his little part, save the day a little bit. That's really all you get to see. It took him all the way up to what Civil War before you even got to meet that girlfriend to find out it was actually a whole family. I got a whole family. So I feel like they've been keeping him under wraps. But Kingpin is rumored. So here's a little bit of Fanboy to tie to the rumor. How would you feel if I'm gonna go to the max, but I'll start at the minimum. At minimum, we got Matt Murdock. At minimum, how would you feel if we got Matt Murdock tied to Kingpin showing up? All thumbs up. All thumbs.
Straight up.
So how would you feel if we got 100% Daredevil? Not only Hawkeye, not only Kate Bishop.
See that? Look, now you're getting me. Now you're getting me hyped. That's what I need. Again, because I am a swarmy when it comes to the MCU. So for these shows that I'm not as familiar with, that's what I need. I need a little bit of enticement to get me on that train, man. You start talking about bringing Daredevil back, like, man, look, White Suge will have done it again.
Well, I'm trying to tell you.
He will have done it again.
I'm thinking so, man. I see you in there, Mr. Button. Shout outs to Mr. Button.
Uh-oh.
He's talking about why though? Horrible rumor for Kingpin? Or are you trying to say horrible rumor for Daredevil? So he says Daredevil should stay on the show. Well, so Daredevil ain't got a show no more. Yeah, that's not canon.
Daredevil show gone bye-bye.
It's gone, man. You can't even count that no more. You can go back and enjoy it while it's still on Netflix.
Yeah.
But pretty soon, it's going to be a thing of the past. You're going to have to try to find that on one of them pirate sites and then remember how Daredevil was.
Yeah, that was a traumatic ordeal. Because if I'm not mistaken, White Suge, it was like, but Daredevil, we can't get rid of Daredevil because Matt Murdock, and he was like, cancel that. I'll buy another one.
Right. Exactly.
Like, damn, it's like that.
Exactly. So now let's go to the extreme.
Okay.
This means this ain't gonna happen. Okay. So when we go to the extreme, this is just us actually fanboy dreaming. So I'm gonna drop a couple on you. Because we get Kingpin as a rumor, which I would say it's kind of a solid one. How would you feel if not only you got Daredevil, but you got Spider-Man too? Because he is a Spider-Man villain as well.
I would probably say Hawkeye best MCU show to date.
Right.
But they're gonna have to prove that one though.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, no.
That's not happening.
That basically be like they just might as well just made a MCU team-up show and called it Hawkeye.
Right. Pretty much. Because you ain't gonna have that would take all the way away from Hawkeye.
Yeah, wouldn't nobody give a damn about Hawkeye? People would care less about Hawkeye than they do now, and that's hard.
Right.
That's a very difficult thing to do.
Right. Certified Gumbo. I'm gonna hit you with it.
What up, man?
We're gonna go to the 9,000, the power level. 9,000.
9,000?
What if we got the first version of the Punisher? Just take everybody else out. Take out Spider-Man, take out Daredevil, get Matt Murdock. But you get the Punisher somewhere in that 5 years when he's going around and knocking heads and actually killing these mofos.
I'd be upset.
You'd be upset if they had like a Hawkeye Ronin team up.
Yes. You know why?
Explain yourself.
Because it's on Disney Plus. How much gore are we actually gonna get? I don't want to see no hypothetical ass whoopings. I want to be able to see the blood and guts and bullets. Don't leave it up to my imagination. No, give me the whole vivid experience.
Exactly.
Call me sick and sadistic if you want to, but it ain't real violence unless I see some blood.
I feel you. I tell you.
Just saying. Now you can get away with that, and I'll expand on that a little bit, because you can get away with that with a Captain America or Iron Man or something like that, because you set the precedent with those movies and you set the vibe for that. We done already got a whole damn Punisher series and Daredevil for that matter, where we got to see like they didn't pull no punches. Like,
nah, man.
I still trip out over Kingpin and that dough, man. When he had my bruh. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So I'm like, come on, like you can't dumb that down. You can't water that down. And it's the same character, the same actor playing it. No, all of a sudden now he's got some restraint. Hell no, I need to see it all, and don't cut to another screen. Don't just show me some blood patterns splashing on the wall. I want to see that. So yeah, no, I wouldn't be down unless they was gonna say come into Hulu. Okay, well then now we talk.
Do you think that if the rumors are true that we get Kingpin, in what capacity do you feel like Kingpin will be a part of the show? Again, do you think he'll just be in the backgrounds, no head smashing indoors, just the dude is actually running the things, or do you think
he would have to be?
See him?
He would have to be. We wouldn't see him in action. I think what you would get is he would be kind of like that overarching villain, like take it all the way back. He'd be like Dr. Claw, like sitting there chilling there. You probably catch him at the beginning or the end of the episode and be like, damn, they still ain't got Kingpin to come out yet.
Right.
But that's what I would expect to see out of that. I would not expect to see him get his hands dirty. Maybe they would save that for later on. Right. But or like in a movie form, or if they put, a MCU show on like a Hulu or something like that. But yeah, I just don't look. I know Disney Plus been trying to inch into being a little bit darker. I've seen the effort, but I don't think they go in there.
I have to agree. And good evening, the Lonely Banter.
LB was good, man.
Chat. What's good, LB? What it is, homie? So, let me move my next question then. So,
what you got?
I feel like after a while, we're apparently going to have some spin-off shows.
Okay.
But we're expecting things like Midnight Suns. We want the grittier content.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think it'll be before they start spilling things over that would normally go to Disney Plus, but because they have that kind of rating, get moved over to Hulu? How long we gotta wait for that?
I'm hoping first of next year, at the latest, because we are at that point, and especially when you see, and I know this is totally unrelated, but we're getting a next gen Wolverine game.
Yes.
So that's gonna start. Like, I know that's probably a ways away. We probably looking at 2023 at the earliest before they drop that mug. But the fact that you have that as kind of an establishment or like something that's coming, like how much longer will White Sugar and the MCU be able to duck that? You got Deadpool on standby. You know what I'm saying? It's like you've got properties, you got IPs that you can definitely cash in on, but you're going to have to put them on like a Hulu or something like that, because that content isn't going to live on Disney Plus. And how long can you wait? Now, with it being Marvel, they've got, I'm sure, shows on top of shows on top of shows on top of movies on top of movies on top of specials that they can drop and not even have to like give it a second thought, because they can be like, we can do that when we good and damn ready. But I believe that they are still in the business of making money. And there's a lot of money to be made in some of that darker MCU content. You've established your key demographic. The people that are MCU fans are not going to go anywhere if you start offering more content for the more mature audiences. I don't think that's going to cause any of them to hop off the boat. Like, no. we here.
Right. I feel if anything, I'll probably get more on the boat, because I feel like a lot of the people who are probably on the boat are really like most people get drug in. Like even if they do more mature content, some people who aren't even aware to get drug in.
Right.
But what I mean is like right now it's like the younger crowd maybe like dragging in the older crowd.
Right.
But if we got more mature content, then the older crowd can start drawing in the older crowd. You know what I'm saying? And
no
start
doubt.
Cycling it in that way. So I feel like that's exactly where they need to go.
Yeah.
So I got another question for you.
What you got?
So we seen at the end of Black Widow that your girl Val went up to Yelena and was like, yo, it's a shame she ain't here no more. But I know the Mayne behind it. I know the Mayne who took out Black Widow, who took out your sister. And
Right.
she flashed a picture of my man Hawkeye. It was like, it was this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was this
right
here. It was him.
So what they
do you think we're gonna get to see her in the show? Are they gonna conclude that here?
I'm sure Val is gonna pop up, is liable to pop up in anything at this point. Like they're trying to, from what it looks like, they're trying to find all kind of avenues to include her because she is going to play a what I imagine at this point is going to be a very significant role. And so with that being the case, especially in these more grounded MCU shows, I definitely think she's gonna pop up. So like this, She-Hulk, stuff like that, anything that has to do with what I call the quote unquote normal Avengers, the Earthbound Avengers for that, like, you know, she's liable to pop up because they're setting up a story for, and I know they were saying that it's kind of broken up and you'll have something going on kind of Earthbound and you have something going on on the cosmic side, and then like the multiverse thing and all of that. I think whatever this like Earthbound issue is, she's dead ass in the center of it. And so, yeah, I think we'll definitely be seeing her.
Right. Well, you think about Black Widow, the new one, Yelena. Do you think that they'll conclude, like, have a fight? Maybe, okay, here's the first one I'll hit you with. If Yelena shows up, do you think they'll have a fight, win, lose, or draw? Like, fight to the death? You think they'll stop it maybe? They'll get to, like, a point where he can actually tell his side of the story and they stop. And do that, like, mid-season, like episode 3, 4?
Yeah, I think that would probably be kind of like that one, I won't say a one-off episode, but that's exactly how I can see that playing out. It's just like Hawkeye's going about his business and all of a sudden here comes Yelena showing up out of nowhere ready to whoop his ass. And then he's got to try to diffuse that situation, explain what happened, which on a side note, how the hell do you explain that to somebody? Be like, so yeah, we were over here on this other planet, but like, just imagine that conversation.
Right.
And you like, so tell me what happened to my sister. Well, we had to go to another planet to save the universe, and one of us had to sacrifice. So we got in a fight over which one of us was going to fall off the cliff, and it ended up being her. I'm gonna sit there and be like,
right, really, bro?
Really?
Like, that's what you're gonna hit me with?
And I guess you got some beachfront property in Idaho you want to sell me too, mother.
Right.
Nah. Exactly. Like I could totally see that. But I think it's necessary before to move forward. And the Hawkeye show's got to be where they do it. Like it just only makes sense. Like you almost expect that to be a 1 or 2 episode arc where she comes in the picture and they have to reconcile that situation.
Gotcha. Well, here's an alternative to that. And this could be a fanboy dream, and this could actually happen. If Yelena does show up and they do get into a fight scenario, there is canon in the comics that Clint Barton does die. He is killed, and Kate Bishop takes on the full helm, the full name of Hawkeye. Do you think maybe for an episode 6 finale ending, if the fight between Yelena and him happened, that she actually kills him, and there's no more Hawkeye?
No, I don't see that happening.
You don't see that?
I don't see them killing off Hawkeye, and I don't see them letting her be the one to do it.
Gotcha.
Hawkeye fans would riot. All six of them.
Well, they're passing the helm though. It's not like you lose.
Yeah, but no, don't count. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you like this. I am 100% not here for them to shuffle out Avengers for some mofos I don't know. Not like that. Like, don't kill somebody off and go, oh, we just gonna bring somebody else to slide, because that's that T'Challa argument. That's the same thing we was talking about with T'Challa. It's like, no, man, don't kill off T'Challa and then say, oh, we just gonna slide somebody else in there. That ain't it.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. Not trying to do that. No, if you're gonna kill off Hawkeye, give him an appropriate send-off. I don't feel like Yelena killing him is an appropriate send-off. My dude was basically this close to giving it up for the entire universe, for half the universe to come back. And you just gonna let like this assassin just take him out? No, man.
It could happen, people.
Now, I will say, I see Adam pops in. What up, Adam? And he says he's not making it home for Christmas. I did definitely get that vibe. That's the one thing that I did say was like, something gonna happen. I don't know if my man gonna make it.
Right.
He might not make it because they on this Christmas thing real hard. But fanboy dreaming question for you. Is it that what are the odds of Hawkeye not dying, but getting sucked into another part of the multiverse?
Okay, so I would say on that it's probably very improbable, just because this is very grounded. I don't really see too many cosmic things happening, and the fact that they are centralizing this show around other gang members and like the tracksuit mafia is in this. So it's like he's not really facing anybody that's out of his power level, to be completely honest. So I don't see any kind of cosmic thing coming into play, but that is not to say that it can't like happen at all for like a finale thing. Maybe as opposed to him dying, Wong might show up or something, and maybe he don't get sucked into a different dimension, but he gets recruited on the Avengers, like, and we got continue on.
Yeah, I said Wong show up and be like, "Hey, we got a dip."
Right, exactly, and he takes him over wherever the heck he took Shang-Chi to. You know, and then they continue. You know, maybe we see Shang-Chi show up, and he's standing in the little circle while he's waiting for him to step through because they got to go do some multiversal implicative stuff.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I could probably go for it being something like that. Not too cosmic, but you know, he's there.
No doubt.
He's that guy. He's that guy you pull off to something like that because you know he's Hawkeye.
Right.
He's got your back. He's got like 8 million different types of arrows, so he can shoot at you for some reason. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? So I can see something like that. But I say, let's take this before we move on. Let's take this to the chats.
Yes, let's do that.
Chats, because I've seen some interesting things pop up here. And Mike Porter, man, be careful. Be careful. He said,
oh, that's what happened. I was wondering. I'm like, Mike over here, like, I'm the captain now.
Right. Now you got my man Justin scared to even comment anymore.
Oh, for real. Oh, Mike Porter was like, contrary to popular opinion, I'm the head in charge.
Right. All right. So let's see. I see the Lonely Banner asked, he said, what else will Jeremy Renner do? So it's like, if we don't kill him off and we keep him alive, what else would he be good for?
Hey, man, being Hawkeye. You always gotta have like a 6th man. You gotta have somebody ready to sub in, or to do the stuff that the real superheroes ain't got time to do. There's always that guy.
You gotta set him off to do the lower level stuff.
Exactly. You go rescue them people stuck in the building. We got real shit to handle over here.
Right. We're gonna hit you up with that. That's what you're good for, Hawkeye.
There you go.
I don't know. I still lean on that fan theory back in the day that if Hawkeye had been in Infinity War, there would be no Endgame. A lot of people say that. That's my fanboy dream. I don't know, man. It might have been
I'm gonna go back and revisit that.
Yeah, we'll
go back and revisit that one.
We'll come back to that.
I don't know.
See, Brian Klein, he said, "What if they give him a fake death so he can live a quiet life with his family?" What about that?
I wouldn't be mad, but we better not see him anymore.
Like at all, period?
No, like after that, let Jeremy Renner ride off into the sunset. Because my question is, like, what the hell would you go back and get him for?
Right.
What would go down that you like, oh, hell no, we got to go get Hawkeye back? Really? Like, that's who you going to get? Like that's who you going to get.
What if something happens that's like huge, you know, and like everybody, like even Captain Marvel gets taken out. And he was like, "Oh my God, we got nobody left." And then Hawkeye happens.
So if there's nobody left, and if he's the last of the last, then okay, I get it. Like, but didn't we see that in Endgame? Basically, like that kicked off the movie. Like my dude was literally like, "Ain't nobody here. I'm going to go put on the Ronin costume and go slice my. I'm mad now.
I got nothing else to do.
There's nothing else for me to do. I'm gonna take up sword fighting. Like."
Time for people to die.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. Okay, so
Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go on to the next question.
Oh, okay, bet. Well, then I want to take a hard pivot because there's something that since we fanboy dreaming, I'm ready to throw a little bit of kerosene on this conversation. And I want to take a hard left into a whole different direction that we ain't even talked about yet. but it's so appropriate, and I don't know how I let this miss me. But I was paying attention. I looked, and I happened to notice I had on my yes, I do have a Last Jedi shirt.
Oh man, it would be the last shirt.
Don't add me. It's like laundry day. So, but I heard some whispers. And I don't know if you heard this, but I heard some whispers about Star Wars potentially putting together another. That's right, another. Are you ready for this, homie? Another sequel trilogy.
Ooh. How do you put a
wait, because now before you even ask that question, let me give you the last little bit of detail that's gonna make you really ask the question you're about to ask. This new sequel trilogy would be centered around one Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo.
Oh, you know what? See, now that would make better sense.
Oh, it would, but here's my question. Didn't this dude die?
Right.
I mean, and not just like, I'm dead. Didn't he disappear? Like he just he was like Enoch. He just said, bye. I'm one with the Force. I'm out.
Just ascended.
Like, so that's what we doing now, Disney. Like now, look, last week I was just up here trying to let's cut Disney some slack, guys. I was all in the Discord trying to put my Disney Kumbaya hat on. Everybody was like, boy, Beavis. Kick rocks. Exactly. But do it, Beavis.
Let's cut him some slack.
Let's cut him some slack, Beavis. But man, I hear this, and I'm seeing that there's actually, some reputable YouTubers like commenting on this, like doing content on this shit. So I'm like, wait a minute. You mean this might actually be a thing?
Apparently so. It sounds like it. If we have people interested on that level.
Here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part. I'm here for it.
Ooh. See,
I'm definitely here for it.
I'm here for it with stipulations.
Oh, I gotta hear these. What are your stipulations?
Okay, so my stipulations is I don't want a sequel trilogy put back together that just shows me his side of the story.
Facts. I'm with that.
In the end, they're still going to show up, be the same bull that we got last time. So I don't want a sequel trilogy. Ben Solo. No, I feel like if they're going to do it, it needs, of course, be from his perspective. And if you're going to keep Rey in it, like she needed to be kind of the B character, because I don't really like how the fact that in the end she's a Palpatine, but we got to take her to Maury. I'm like I'm not down with
you. Are not. Let me just say something. I want to make this clear, because I don't know if I've actually said this. I don't know if I've actually given this opinion on air. Even back in the other multiverse, I don't even think I said this. So this might be a big one. It also might get us canceled. But I'm gonna preface this by saying I have zero issues with a female protagonist in Star Wars. I have no problem with her with you choosing a female lead and giving her, making her the center of the show, the movie, whatever it is. As long as there's a compelling story and the action is dope and it feels like Star Wars, I'm here for it.
I agree.
That being said, my biggest problem with the sequel trilogy at this point is Rey. Because every time I watch any of the sequel trilogy movies, I find myself going, who are you?
Right.
Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. I don't give a damn if you a Palpatine or not. I need to see you do especially Rise. Every time I watch the end of Rise, bro, I'm like, they are insulting my intelligence. You trying to tell me that this chick in the span of maybe 3 years got strong enough to withstand Force lightning from the Emperor who's back for the second time?
Right.
And it's supposed to be all the power. I get that he was worn down. He was a shell of himself, the whole thing. The only thing that they could do, and I'm gonna tie this back into the Ben Solo thing, because here's where I feel like my fanboy dreaming kicks in. And this is why I say I'm here for it. Because you could tie that in to a whole new. You can take that and tie this into a whole new direction in Star Wars. And the way that you do it is you make the Emperor small potatoes. You basically say, y'all thought the Emperor was that dude, but he's nothing compared to this cat. And that cat could be Thrawn. It could be somebody we don't know. It could be whatever or whoever they want it to be. But give me somebody who makes the Emperor look like child's play. Like, bruh, that's like we still talking about Emperor Palpatine, the same one that for like 50 years. Been, like, if you gonna give me a villain that's gonna like basically render him to be at the point that we saw him in Rise, like not worth a damn. And Ben Solo is like the only dude that's like got any chance of being able to like even stand up against this dude, and even he ain't gonna be able to do it by himself. And you find some kind of a way to explain that Ben actually didn't die. I might be here for that, bro. I just might be here. As crazy as it sounds, because here's the thing: how much worse can it get?
I feel like it could get a heck of a lot worse, especially if you try to pick up at the end like that. Like,
it can't get worse. It can't get worse. I am here for the dumpster fire, bro. At this point, I am here. This is the revelation that I've come to, and I figured this out last week when I was trying to figure out why the hell I was trying to even defend Disney Lucasfilm and the sequel trilogy. It's because it's not because I believe in it. I know it was trash. I'm here for the dumpster fire. Like, that's where I'm at with Star Wars right now. It's like, okay, if we doing this, then let's just, this is like, this is when you have like, you don't have the full set of like your Ninja Turtles, but you got 2 G.I. Joe and a Thundercat. And you like, you know what? I'm just going to put out, in this universe, all of y'all is buddies.
Right.
We just, everybody's cool. I'm here for that. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. If we just going to go there, if we just doing that, then let's just take the lid off of it. It's make believe anyway. Who cares?
Who cares? He's the one on New Jack City, outside around the dumpster, singing "Just Enough." That was you over there, hoping that you can get a decent Ben Solo. Now
I'll take it.
They need to scrap all of that. They need to scrap it all and make Ben Solo the hero, and actually focus more on that dyad that they had going on with him and Rey. Like, I feel like maybe what they tried to do with Rey as a lead character was just not strong enough. Okay. And they need to put them both together, focus on that dyad shit. And like, I was there for that when they finally started like giving each other things and like fighting and not even being in the same spot, but they was messing up stuff like I thought that was cool as hell.
Yes.
I do not know why it didn't pivot.
No, I'm gonna tell you why.
The Palpatine fight should have been the two of them. In that kind of respect.
I'll tell you exactly why. They got scared. Because I remember when we got the leaks, because remember, I read the whole script for Rise of Skywalker 6 months before that shit dropped, before the movie came out. Like, when that leak first came out, we were on that. Like, we got that.
I got that before you even got to watch it.
That's why I didn't hate it as much, is because I got to grieve before the movie came out. Like, by the time everybody else was like in denial at that stage of grief, and I was finally at like reconciliation. I was like, you know what, man? Like, I done read this script like 87 times, and
y'all deal with it
I already know that Kylo about to get yeeted off this cliff, bruh. So, I mean, shit. I'm just here for the movie now. Like, I already knew, but you're exactly right. Like, I already knew what to expect, so I wasn't as disappointed as people who went into it blind, because I already knew what was coming. But the thing about it was, that original script, they did focus on the dyad. There was footage, and there was stuff in the, I won't say footage because I don't know if they actually filmed it, but there was shit in the script where they really went in, they deep dove into that dyad conversation, because there was one scene, I believe, where Palpatine was actually, the whole scene where Palpatine says to Kylo that he's been every voice inside his head. Like, that was a whole conversation in the original script. I believe it was that I believe it was that part, or it was when he was explaining to him what the dyad was between he and Rey. Like, he explained it in even in the novel. I believe they go into it in detail. What happened was they got scared and figured the normies and swarmies weren't going to understand it and it would be too confusing. I'm like, no, bruh. Like, you gotta give us that, especially when you going out here and you bringing in this Mary Sue and all of a sudden now she's like supposed to be like OP than a mother. No, man. Like, I need some explanation there. So
yeah, I don't know. I say scrap all that. Give me Ben, give me Ray, and give me Kyle Katarn.
Man,
I'll tell you what's Kyle Katarn.
Yes, Kyle Katarn all day. I just have a question, and that's the last time I'm ever asked this question. And this question is directed to, I'm gonna put names on it. I'm talking to Certified Gumbo. I'm talking to Felicity. I'm talking to OG Fan. Okay, the sequel trilogy sucked. We know this. So we know they're not gonna retcon it. We know that they're not gonna say the movies didn't happen. So how long are we going to continue to say that they suck and still be watching they shit?
The rest of our lives.
Apparently so. And you're totally entitled to do that, by the way. I ain't judging one bit. I'm just trying to figure out the mathematics because I'm like, you hate it. And it's understandable that you hate it. You really got that much hope for Disney? Like, you really hoping that they're going to actually, like, grant these fanboy dream and wishes of ours and just retcon the whole damn... No, it's not happening.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
It would be... You know what? Again, I think it's because I got that... I was able to get disappointed before everybody else, bro.
Right, exactly.
Maybe I'm just 6 months ahead of everybody.
You're maybe pre-gaming on the disappointment.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No, it's got to be that.
It must be.
Because I'm telling you, if come March, I start hearing Felicity talking about, you know what, it's time for us to just let this sequel trilogy shit go. I'm going to be like, you know what, it was 6 months. I was just 6 months ahead of y'all. That's all that was. I got a head start on my grief. It has to be that. It has to be, man.
Well, Felicity said, I will watch it and pay, then still talk shit about it. Do you know me?
Hey, you have... No, you missed the word. She said, I will watch it and not pay.
Right. Excuse me. Yeah.
She said, well, not pay. I was just about to say, yeah, you're totally entitled to that if you paid for it. But
yeah, she says you're
entitled to it if you didn't pay for it, to be real. Right. I mean, hey, it's your opinion. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. I'm just trying to understand the opinion and what the purpose, the end game is here. Because I'm like, I don't have that kind of time in my life. If I say I hate something, I hate your ass. I don't even want to think about you if I hate you. I don't care what it is.
Non-existent.
Like I hate tuna fish. I can't stand tuna fish. I don't like the smell. Man. I can't stand that. There is not a day in my life where a tuna crosses my mind. Unless somebody says I feel like eating tuna. Then I go, you know what? I hate that shit. And I go back to I go right back to doing what I was doing.
Oh man, you don't want to be around me.
Oh yeah, see, look,
I like me some tuna.
Nah, bro.
All about it, man. I'm all about it. But I'm gonna expand on Certified Gumbo's response. He said, just let the Filoniverse drive the boat. Facts. And with that, I totally agree. So retcon that other bull that we got, okay? And give me Ben Solo, give me Rey, Kyle Katarn, give me the Mandalorian, put Din Djarin up in that. Give me an older version of Grogu, Sith. Matter of fact, make him kill Palpatine, and him be the new threat. And then you can still throw in Thrawn and everybody else. I would have went for that if this new Sith order was made by Baby Grogu.
That's my dream. That is my dream. Grogu is the way. The Filoniverse is the way. But the villain needs to be. Not should be. Not I hope. The villain needs to be Grogu. Star Wars needs this. We need this. We need somebody to hate.
Yes. And who else better than
the most adorable mother? Yes.
That's the whole watch in the adorable times too when he's good and just watch him turn. Kind of like Anakin.
Thank you. This is, dude, I had the same argument like almost a year ago. I laid this out for the peoples, man. I said, look, everybody, you got people to become Star Wars fans just off of quote unquote Baby Yoda. Like Baby Yoda is like he made Star Wars fans. You know what I'm saying? Like people that didn't even know anything about the Force. Oh, Baby Yoda's the cutest. I'm gonna keep watching the Mandalorian. Right. Baby Yoda's adorable. Oh my God, he just chopped his head off.
Right.
That's what I want. I want people on Twitter calling for Dave Filoni to be fired. I want little kids on YouTube, like my child when he saw Baby Yoda. I want to see them video with the little kids like leaving the movie theater in tears. I want people to be talking about how their kid is traumatized. Yes, I want that kind of a turn. I want that shit to come straight out of left field, and for Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, to be the most evil mother we ever seen.
Yes, sir. I'm
like
down.
Evil.
Like even Thrawn has to team up.
Like eating your fish babies and smiling evil. Like that.
Right.
Like
just sitting back chilling.
I wanted to be like to where you go back and you watch that shit in Mandalorian and be like, and see it all in a whole different context. You thought it was cute when he was eating them little fish eggs. Now all of a sudden, or them frog eggs. Now you realize, oh, he was a straight up cannibal. Like he was that dude. Right. And yes, Kavai, I would love to be his voice. I would do it. I would do it.
He'd probably be a bad motherfucker. I tell you that right now. I know that. And he probably say everything you just said here. It's been my dream to be the most evil out here.
Just flip the hood off and just be like, you up, I must.
Right.
Be like,
mother lives you crossed.
Yes. Oh, be like, up, you must have me. Like, bruh, I'm
who I am, you must not know.
You must not know.
Oh man, I'm totally down.
Oh, bro, I'm totally
down.
I'm with it, man. Yeah. I'm saying, look, that's my fanboy dreaming tangent right there. I just had to get that out because I remembered I saw that shit about a Ben Solo trilogy and was like, what?
Right before, since we're in the spirit of Star Wars, right before we get into the fanboy dreaming on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
What about that Coda remake, man?
Oh boy, look, you want to talk about another topic of controversial proportions.
Yes.
Man, I'm looking around and I don't know whether to be excited about the KOTOR remake or if I need to jump on the whole anti-Star Wars delegation with everybody else. I'm like, damn, they coming for KOTOR and they ain't even dropped no real details yet. I'm like, shit.
Why?
Well, because apparently there is fear that KOTOR will be turned into Disney Star Wars woke propaganda.
Oh,
and
really?
So, yes, that's already a fear. And
man,
you know how the internet acts when they think you're trying to take their beloved IP and turn it into something with a message. How dare you?
Right. You shouldn't do those types of things.
You should not. I am not here to have my mind opened. Nah, man, but no, straight up though, I get the concern, like for real, because from my understanding, again, and for people who didn't get to see our stream last week, I don't know what the hell was going on with you, but Thursday, I let the people know I'm not a person that got to actually play KOTOR, the original. So right. I know of it. I know, a lot of some of the story elements, but from a gameplay standpoint, I'm not that familiar. So I didn't know that you get a choice when you start to make your character male or female. And that you don't, I guess you don't know that you're Revan at that point when you start the game or something like that. So I think the fear is that spoiler alert, right? For a game now. I don't know how old it is, so keep it moving. Yeah. But I think the fear, and somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm talking out of turn, but I think the fear is that they are going to adapt the story in a way that is going to either water down Revan and or turn this into a feminist agenda type situation. And so naturally, the people, the fans that aren't really into that kind of thing are immediately, you know, on the defense because they don't want their beloved game to get, you know, I don't even know what you call it. I don't want to say whitewash because we ain't whitewashing it, but
because this is the main authority, so it's gonna get propagandized.
There you go. It's gonna get propagandized. There we go. So yeah, I think that's the fear, and I totally understand that fear. You know what I'm saying? Like I totally get that. I think we are in a society right now where everything is being kind of propagated, and you really don't know what's genuine and what's not in terms of what people's intentions are or what they do, is particularly from a creative standpoint. Like I think we're now on guard more than we ever have been with regard to the messaging that is portrayed in some of the content we consume, which I find to be very ironic, by the way, because we catch on to all, I think, the wrong shit, and the stuff we really need to be paying attention to just goes right over our collective head. But that's a whole nother story.
Whole other story.
But yes, I totally get the concern. However, I'm of the wait and see mentality. Like yes, there's reason to be concerned. I get that, but I'm going to wait and see how it turns out before, jumping to a conclusion or condemning the IP. Like I want to see what they're going to do with it first. Because the truth and the fact of the matter is, we might as well just get used to this, man, because every piece of content that comes out going forward is going to have some type of messaging attached to it. And I'm not saying that that's, negative messaging or propaganda, but it's going to be connected to some type of a message. I think that's always been the case. I think that's always been the case with creative, with content.
Right.
There's always been, like, you can go back the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whenever. There's always some kind of underlying theme or message behind whatever. You know what I'm saying? You go back to Wizard of Oz had certain messaging and themes in it. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think the question becomes that balance between the entertainment quality and the messaging. When the messaging gets so heavy that it takes away from the entertainment value, then I think that's where people have a problem with it. But I think we're also in a place now where we're so hypersensitive to messaging being kind of placed in the content that we enjoy, that we're looking for it before we even know that it's a thing. And I think that's what I think that might be a little bit of what's going on with KOTOR, is that you have people that are hypersensitive to the possibility of it being propagandized, and so they're already kind of like throwing the flag on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but shouldn't jump the coop. I think people are mostly scared because it's not a remaster; it's a remake. So they're like, "What are you going to remake in the game?"
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's the game of the year for a reason. Says Coop, and Justin Simone said KOTOR was the most diverse game before diversity was a thing. So I can understand people being a little worried for a remake, but at the same time, at least, I mean, the trailer, the little teaser trailer didn't even give you an idea of anything.
A damn thing.
And already they're all like, "Oh, they're gonna mess it up by doing this," and blah, blah, blah. It's like, really?
But that's where we at right now, though, bruh. That's the thing, man. And this is why I say it gets real tricky these days, trying to like discern intent, because we don't know. Like again, like you said, it's a remake, not a remaster. So that tells me that yes, there are going to be some things that they probably will change in order to bend it, especially if this thing comes out and it's canon. And I think that's to give some credit and some credence to the detractors. I do think that there is a legitimate concern if they come out and say that this is canon, that there's a huge concern with how they are going to adjust the story in order for it to fit the current canon. Because as it exists, there's no way that I think KOTOR could exist in this canon if it remained the way that it was, the original version played out. So they're going to have to make some adjustment. And I think that's where people get worried, is with how they may do that adjusting. But we got to wait and see, man. Like, it's like we got to wait and see, especially because here's the thing I was thinking about. I know that I can't remember the writer's name for KOTOR but if it is canon, didn't we find out that Dave Filoni is kind of like the de facto head of creative over there now anyway? So wouldn't he have to basically be in lockstep or at least kind of sign off on what they doing in order for it to fit the canon going,
if it's canon, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then I mean, is it still in Filoni we trust? Like,
well, I don't know.
How that's gonna work?
He says it's 4,000 years in the past, so it doesn't have to connect to a Skywalker or anything like that.
Right? No, it does not. No,
you're sweaty. So I mean, I don't really know what was happening 4,000 years in the past. From what point to where? What would it connect to in the first place?
So that would be, I think, that's even prior to the High Republic. I think.
Okay.
Or that might be right around that same time frame. I get fuzzy because I didn't really get into Legends that much myself.
Gotcha.
So I don't know exactly what that Legends timeline was. But in any event, there's nothing in the Star Wars canon currently that 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. Yeah, that's far enough removed from 4,000 BBY is far enough removed where it could have little to no impact on current Star Wars canon if they don't want it to. Now, could they tie it in? Could they make some loose references and then have something pop up or something like that? Sure, they could. But you're talking about a time frame that goes so far back, it's like nobody, like Yoda's not even around at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like this 4,000 years, Yoda wasn't even thought of, to be honest. Like, so this is way, way back, which it could retcon a lot of the Legends material that we have for like Revan and Bane and all of that, which is what I think concerns some people. But we had to know this was coming. Like, I think we all knew that was going to be the case when Disney Lucasfilm effectively came out and said Legends doesn't exist in the canon.
Oh,
like, when they came out and said that, which pissed off a lot of people, rightfully so.
I remember that.
Rightfully so. Don't get it twisted. Rightfully so. People were pissed off at that decision. And I wasn't one of those people, but that's because I wasn't in the Legends that way. I'm sure if I had been, I'd have been right there with y'all. I'd have been pissed off too. But I looked at it as an opportunity to see what they were going to do with, putting their own little sauce on Star Wars. And so far, they ain't got the sauce. And apparently, it's been Disney's loss.
Gotcha. Facts.
So,
one last question before we get into this Discord.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think that because they're going back so far, then that it can literally create its own kind of canon, since it's really kind of removed from a lot of the things that they've made, at least theatrically? Do you think that possibly, since it seems that game producers like Insomnia is doing Insomniac's doing their own kind of MCU type of legend thing, you know what I'm saying, connection thing. Do you think that possibly this could spin off something for Star Wars to where they're using that 4,000 years removed type of content to make like a separate, like a second chance type deal?
They very well could, and it's interesting that you say that because again, bringing it back full circle with the fanboy dream and shit, that might be an avenue for them to circumvent the sequel trilogy, not to retcon it, but to circumvent it. Because if there at some point was a divergence in the Sith order, because it's essentially from Darth Bane forward, you had this quote unquote rule of two. And so essentially, if we find out though, that there's something that as a part of KOTOR that they kind of retcon or they change the perspective on so that they can do exactly what you're saying and kind of take it in a different direction, they could essentially kind of skirt the sequel trilogy in that way and then just continue the Star Wars story going forward. And that could tie into what, I had been speculating on with regard to Ezra and where he might have been all this time and where Thrawn's been all this time, because that might be a way for them to say, well, yeah, the Sith was going in this direction, but what people don't understand is that that's only because of a divergence that happened when it went this way. So they could basically make KOTOR kind of a point where the Star Wars lore splits off. So, and yeah, Bane got the rule of two from Revan. So essentially, again, though, Bane's story, like the Bane trilogy, is not canon. Bane is canon in Star Wars in the current canon, but we haven't learned what his exact story is in this version of the canon because they haven't done that yet. So they could essentially, and this is where I think people start to get a little worried and get a little antsy about it, is because essentially they could come back and retcon Revan, the KOTOR story, and then subsequently retcon Bane's story in a way that totally, changes or alters what he was from Legends. And I think that's what makes people get kind of antsy, is the fact that that's a possibility, and a very likely possibility, because just thinking about what Disney Lucasfilm has done with Star Wars in the last decade or so, they ain't really, it's like they're going in their own way with some of the stories. So it only makes sense that they would kind of change some things in order to make it jive with what they've been doing. So to answer your question, yes, they could definitely take it in another direction and go, create their own canon with that. But essentially they'd have to reconcile or explain then at what point did we get some kind of a divergence from what we know happened once we get to, Plagueis, Palpatine, and the Skywalker saga, all these thousands of years later. What caused those events to unfold that when it should have probably gone a different way, depending on how they retcon Revan and possibly Bane.
Gotcha.
But man, yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's totally a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm learning.
It's a lot, man. And it's crazy because the Darth Bane trilogy is some of the best Star Wars I have ever read. And it don't even matter because it's not canon anymore, which sucks.
Right. I was about to say, it sounds like it sucks.
That sucks, because that's when we were talking earlier and you were asking about Darth Zana. Darth Zana was Bane's apprentice. And over that trilogy, you get to learn about Darth Zana, and you actually get to see her basically from a child all the way up to the point where she takes over, where she overtakes Bane, and she becomes the master and takes on an apprentice. And they got to do that, man.
Yeah, man.
They gotta do that, man. I think somebody dropped that in the Fanboy Dreaming on the Discord.
I was about to say, and with that starts off the Fanboy Dreaming with Darth Chaos. He said Darth Zana and live action. That would totally be, sounds like something I'd be interested in.
Sign me the up.
Sounds like a good fanboy dream to me.
Oh, man. Darth Zana, bruh. I don't know how much of a reader you are, bruh, but I will slide you. I have those on audiobook. I would slide you them joints.
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
Look. Well, see, look, if you remember, I actually dropped them to all the EPs back in the day.
Was I an EP?
Yes, you were, because this was like a little bit.
Oh, you know what? I do remember that.
Yes.
I do remember that. But that was at the beginning of my
yes, you were very much a normie, and you were very much a newbie. But
yeah,
I still got them.
Talked about that. I was like,
I still got them. I will slide those your way. You are going to hear that. You're going to read those books, and by the end, you're going to be like, well, why the fuck didn't they do this?
Right. I'm sure.
Bruh, it is so incredibly good. Like, it's oh, man. I'm with you, Chaos. Darth Zana. Like, when they started talking about the Acolyte, I was like, bruh, if they got to do this. We need this. Just don't F it up.
Yes. Like, because, Star Wars has a knack. They have a knack.
No, don't say Star Wars.
Excuse me.
Disney Lucasfilm.
You get that straight.
Yeah, man. Right. You got to, because look, this ain't on Star Wars, man.
No, it's not on Star Wars. It's on Disney Lucasfilm. We'll keep it right there.
There we go.
The next we got Nihilist came through. Nihilist 66 came through.
Mm-hmm.
He said R-rated MCU movies for properties such as Punisher, Ghost Rider, Blade, and Midnight Suns. Like I said earlier, I think that's something that they could possibly do on a Hulu channel. And if they did do it on Hulu, I think the shows would be better, because some of the shows that they had come out on Hulu are supposed to be Marvel, like The Runaways, like what was the other one? Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
Like them shows was
at best. At best.
Like at best. Like you can get worse than that. I mean, we got what do we get? We got the Inhumans was the worst of the worst. Like goodness, man. It was so bad that they just straight cut it off of TV. It had 8 episodes, and it was like, yeah, people not responding to this. Hurry up, shut this down.
Right.
Let's just skip to the finale. Matter of fact, that finale is worse. Let's make a new one so we can end this now.
Exactly.
So,
big fact.
He also continues, said, introduce Doctor Doom through Doctor Strange, not the Fantastic Four, i.e. Triumph and Torment 1989. This would have to include Mephisto. We are still fanboy dreaming about getting Mephisto.
I blame
Do you not
WandaVision.
understand? I mean, we ain't got no other vision to blame other than that, because what else is WandaVision but Mephisto not persevering?
Yeah, pretty much.
You get that at all. So we can keep on fanboy dreaming for Mephisto.
Big facts.
And then we got Proxy. Now this one sounds like a good one. It says introducing Sith alchemy into new Star Wars, to seeing Sith trials, moments of doubt or weakness in a newer apprentice struggling with light, but ultimately abandoning it. So go insane. Abandoning it and go insane. Seeing the physical impact of surviving your whole life with anger and hatred, how the hunger for power will destroy him or her internally and externally, and seeing the dark, twisted relationship between master and apprentice.
Sounds like they need to give my man a pen and paper and be like, "Hey man, write this out."
Hey, yeah, you're gonna have to write.
Maybe not pen
out,
and paper, man. We in 2021. We can slide you a little tablet or something.
Right, most definitely. And we're gonna stop at those 3 because you guys, I didn't realize how much y'all fanboy dreamed over here. Like Felicity came through. I'm just gonna read a small part. She said Constantine on NBC was a promising series, but it ended prematurely. Network TV was definitely not the place for it. So she's gonna go on with that Constantine one. We're gonna pick up on that one on the next fanboy dreaming episode.
That's right. That's right.
Night, certified gumbo. Nice to see you here,
Appreciate you coming through, man.
He said Visions is gonna be fire. I'm
Oh man, don't even look. Visions ain't nothing but a fanboy dream in and of itself, man. And I'm here for every second of it. Like,
yeah, man.
If they not using that to test and see how people respond to certain, bruh, I'm just saying they need to make it happen.
I mean, I don't know. Like immediately saying that it's not canon, or them making that and saying it's not canon. I don't know. I think that's a little foolish.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it not being canon, and the reason I say that is because it's gonna be out there, right? And I don't want them to muddy up. And I know this is gonna sound funny. I don't want them to muddy up the canon any more than they already have. Like,
I feel you.
Let's clean the canon up first before we start introducing some of this fantastical shit. But by all means, can we get it cleaned up so that we can introduce some of this fantastical shit? Because that's what we're here for.
I feel like if it's not canon, then they should take this and make its own little string. Then I feel like Star Wars needs more strings. There's not enough strings to pull. I mean, okay, let me put it this way: there's plenty of strings to pull, apparently, and they're just not going with it.
Well, see,
but I feel like a multiversal. I've said this before. I still think some kind of a multiversal Star Wars thing would be good. I thought that long before multiverse became a thing.
No,
and Visions would be. Visions would. I mean, but they don't have to reference each other. Like when I say multiversal, like everything else that they're doing, DC, Marvel, it's multiversal, and they all reference to each other, and it's all canon. Blah blah blah. I mean that they could take this, make it its own little canon, and it'd still be a different verse of Star Wars. But it's not a verse to where Skywalker and all of them are referencing it. You know what I mean?
Now here's
like it's its own story.
Here's something interesting, and only because shout out to Dan Flashes because I just saw the message pop up and it just got me to thinking about something. Now we I think hardcore Star Wars fans have been adamant since Rebels that we don't want to see them fucking around with the world between worlds, in the sense that we don't want them to use that as a plot device to insert a character into the past or anything like or bring a character from the past into the future or anything like that. However, what would be dope would be if you use the world between worlds in the way that you're describing it, and that these worlds existed kind of independent of each other and that they were not necessarily connected in any way. Right. And you have kind of this multiversal aspect or multiversal view of the Force, but that there is no cognizance, like there is no watcher, there is no somebody who understands that all of these other worlds exist or whatever. That could just be a premise and a way for you to allow yourself to tell stories that don't necessarily affect the main Star Wars canon. Right. I would be cool with that because
that's what I mean.
That would be dope. That would be dope. And you don't dabble in any time travel. Don't, mess with any of the canon. Don't try to retcon and say, oh, well, no, this door is technically, allows for only the most highest of a No, we ain't got to go there. Just leave it what it is and just give us that as a premise. This exists in a whole different world and that doesn't connect.
Cross over.
Right.
Not catch
under
Ezra
any circumstance. Right. Exactly. That would be cool. Now, the other thing though, to your point, we don't know if Visions won't be its own thing. Like, because if Visions pops off, the one thing I was saying that I hope that they would take some of those ideas and adopt them to the canon. But another thing that they may do is they may just take Visions as a standalone and let them do multiple seasons of that and just let those stories play out, which again, that would work for me. I wouldn't have a problem with that because again, it doesn't affect the canon in any way. So that's the thing is I think we're getting to a point where I think things are a little too connected and we need to get back to being able to do kind of one-offs that don't necessarily lead to some bigger revelation or some larger universe or something like that. Like it's okay to still do little one-off stories that don't really have any lasting impact. I'm cool with that.
Right. Yeah, I'm totally down with that. And I feel like I said, I feel like that types of stuff should kind of exist, at least in the Star Wars pocket, and its own the way it wants to, but under those type of premises. I'm down for that, man.
Yeah, man.
Totally be there for it. Well, this was a good fanboy.
This was a good little fanboy dreaming session, man. I appreciate it.
Most def.
It was quite fun.
I even learned some things.
Hey, man, that's what we always endeavor to do, man. Entertain and educate.
Exactly, man. That's exactly what we need to do that more often, man. Yeah, I feel like getting this opportunity to throw in some things that we would like to see always brings back up the things that we have and should appreciate.
Exactly. That part, indeed.
Most definitely.
What y'all need to do is make sure you like, and if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of this dope ass content we dropping, because it's gonna be more and more and more. And oh, by the way,
and more.
There is a Discord and there is a Patreon. If you feel so inclined, throw us a shout out on either one of those.
Yeah.
Maybe even chunk a little change this way. Whatever makes you feel good.
Whatever you like to do.
Whatever.
We are here for it.
And if you're just here to kick it and have a good time, that's cool too.
Yep. Hope you come back again just to kick it and have a good time.
And we will be back on Thursday nights.
Yes, we will.
For the Mayne Authority stream, where I'm sure we will have lots of good and juicy shit to get into for this week, man. We got another episode of What If coming up.
Yep. And will we get to talk about Titans?
We will get to talk about Titans.
We gonna get
to talk about Titans.
Oh, shit. You know it, man. I'm down for it.
Oh, yeah, man.
In the return of Marshals.
Yes. Back by popular demand, the Marshals will be back.
We'll be back. And so will you. And so will we.
Indeed.
Here on the Mayne Authority.
That's right. Like we always say, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
Here, man. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Indeed, my man.
And I guess we will catch you all in the next episode.
Hey.
I wish I could have Mayne gang every day.
Slow down, grown folks got jobs.
Yeah. stay bloody, my friends.
Indeed. Hold on, man. We gotta ride out a little bit different. We gotta ride out the way we came up in this thing. Cause this is a vibe. It's that night right here.
Sway.
Bop. Bop. The Mayne Thor. He said fanboy dreaming.
So, you ready to go night-night? I'm ready to go night-night. It's gonna go night-night.
Hey.
Hey, who wanna go night-night? You wanna go night-night?
Hey.
Let's get that night-night.
That night-night.
Give me that night-night. Gotta get it right. Make sure you get it right.
Like a Speedo.